Booking.com has stays for absolute.
There's no time for regret, but I remember how I slept in your chest. I want to forget it, take a breath and leave you away, away. But it's not that easy, 'cause you make me miss you again, again. If you want, just come. If you want, just come. Don't leave me again, leave me again. If you want, just come. If you want, just come. Don't leave me again, leave me again. Leave me again. There's no time for regret, but I remember how I slept in your chest.
Hello, hello. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day today. All right, audio check is done. So far so good. I've rearranged some of my stuff in my chat or in OBS. One of the things that I had been working on is getting the Social Stream Ninja stuff set up, and I've been having I had some early struggles moving over to Linux with it because of the fact that the browser piece works really well inside Chrome, but I was trying to use something other than Chrome because native Chrome isn't installed on most Linux distributions. Now I have it installed as a Flatpak, but that's an additional thing I had to install very specifically. Plus I tried Brave and I tried ungoogled Chromium to see whether those would work, just because I wanted the most lightweight chat piece, because Chrome at times, even though it's still fast. It used to be one of the lighter weight distribution apps for doing stuff. It has just gotten kind of bloated and heavier over time, and then adding this extension that basically ties in and have to have 4 web applications open or 4 websites open for the 4 chats that I have set up. I just was thinking about how's a better way to deal with that. So the other thing that I've been trying was last week I switched over to using the Social Stream Ninja app. There was a few odd nuances about trying to get that set up that I was struggling with, but I got it working. This week it was a lot easier because all the stuff was already configured for the most part. One of the odd nuances of it, and I just think it's going to be that semi weird little quirk of things here and there, because it doesn't matter whether or not I do it with the app or whether I do it with the web extension. One of the one or two of the chats just don't seem to want to hook up correctly. So like from the top to the bottom of the chat, you'll notice that the fourth one down just says hello, hello. There's no 2 exclamation points. That is Discord. And for whatever reason, it didn't interact with Discord. I had to go in there and type that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not exactly sure why. I haven't really went out to any of the troubleshooting guides, but it's not hard to just go into Discord and hit, type something, hit enter. The moment it connects, it works after that. Like, just as a bit of a test right here, if I go open up Discord right now on my, mind you, I'm doing this on my phone. If I type in test, you see test pop up. So like once it's connected, it's connected. And it's just kind of a weird little thing. You'll see another one down there just says hello. And that was me going on to each one of the things and running a test from my phone into the chat, and they all work. So like it's kind of hit or miss as to which one works and which one doesn't. You know something I just realized? And mind just because I keep looking over at my chat. Now, not to diverge too much, but I just realized that in my vertical format, in my horizontal format, up here, you guys get to see the game that I'm getting ready to play. There's in a little box there. But right here above my head in my vertical stuff, there's no box. I just realized it. Okay, so give me just a second here. I'm going to make myself another note. What is today? Just so that I don't forget. Looks in. Add. I can't believe I just realized that. I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I just finally realized that my intermission screen, there's something missing. Go check one other thing here real quick. Intermission, add game. And I've got it. I can't believe I forgot that. I'll get that added in. I'll have to compress down the chat slightly and stuff like that there. Not too big of a deal. I'll still get it. Maybe I'll have the game come just behind my head a little bit because of the fact that I have the see-through background kind of stuff set up. But wow, I can't believe I've been doing this for this long, and I just now realized the fact that I don't have that on my intermission screen. But anyways, so I was working on trying to solve another issue about getting the windows arranged in a slightly different way. And one of the things that kind of bugged me as I moved over to Linux was I lost, because I'm running on Garuda Linux under a Wayland compositor for the desktop. I lost in OBS the ability to do a chat doc. Right, so in OBS you have docs, and then you can do custom browser docs where you could add in a URL and add it in as a dockable section within inside OBS. And I lost that when I went to the Wayland stuff because of the fact that it isn't compiled for Wayland yet. And I had kind of accepted that, and it's like, okay, well, it's not that hard to have another little window open. But then now you start to realize that I've got 4 windows open for each one of the chat systems, plus I have another window open to see the chat, which then means I've got to in my screen real estate, I've got to section it off where I've got a section for the chat, and then I got to compress the window down and get everything organized so that I can easily see all the stuff. So it was kind of this constant rearranging and making sure that the window didn't snap to a full screen window, because then I would lose something and try to get it. So I was doing something else this weekend. One of the things that I'm going to start adding into the stream, and that is right after my little intro piece before I start going into pontificating about all the stuff that I've been doing and things like that there and talking about stuff like this, I'm going to start adding in a little Bible segment where I'm going to have Bible verses up and I'm going to read those, and I've got like a comparative Bible that I'm going to start, like I'll display text from one version of the Bible and then I'll read off a couple other ones. Because I want to start adding those into the thing. I've got some other stuff where I've got some formatting for both the vertical or the horizontal format. Then I've got another one where I'm trying to get it set up for the vertical format, because I'm going to record those short clips and include them into a separate section into their own playlist and stuff. But I've got a couple more things to get fixed up. Like I actually forgot to put the microphone in there, so in that scene, so you wouldn't even be able to hear me talk. I added it in, but I've got some more tweaking to do. I looked at one of the recordings and I'm like, I don't know that I like the vertical format. The horizontal one looks fine, but the vertical format looks a little strange. So I'm going to try to see if I can't get that fixed up. But that's what led me down to the thing of looking back into the browser docs, because the tool, the Bible tool, actually works as a browser doc and connects in and will work with the browser sources that you put in to display the stuff. So I was like, okay, I wonder if anybody has solved this. I went back out, looked up OBS, see whether or not anybody has figured out a way to get the dockable sources working, or the custom browser docs. Well, I did a search. Come to find out that about 5 months ago, right after I started figuring out whether or not all this stuff was possible on my test bed system and stuff like that, somebody put it in there that as long as you've got OBS installed in a Flatpak, that you could go into the Flatpak under Flatseal and basically tell it to just not use Wayland, which defaults it back to an X11 environment. And because it's a flat packaged sandbox environment, it can run X11 applications without a problem. I've got the browser docs back. It was a simple little thing. It was going in there and basically undoing one option. And so far, I did a little test record and stuff. I haven't had a problem with it. So that is an interesting thing. I'm going to keep an eye out on it over this stream because of the fact that it is a slightly different setup, but nothing else is going in there. The one valuable lesson I did learn is I went to go rearrange my scenes in my windows to put the browser dock in. And I was getting a little frustrated because there's still some issues with the way OBS works, even in the newest versions for docks. And I was trying to get the match what I had, where the entire left side of my screen is the dock for the chat, and that I could wind up having everything kind of compressed over to match where I had two separate windows, the chat in Chrome versus the chat that I had versus OBS, kind of squished side by side. I wound up closing all that out, but what I did, I was like, oh, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to back up my scene collection, and before I change everything, and then if I don't like what I did, I could just swap back to the scene collection and get rid of it. Well, I messed up because the actual scene collection is only the stuff that's in the scene, not the layout of your docs and stuff. That's under your profile. I didn't copy the profile, so I wound up closing everything out. So I had to do a dock reset where it reset all the docs, and then I had to put everything back together because I had all the docs set up exactly the way I wanted them. They're all nice and neat, had them in tabs and stuff like that there, so I could switch back and forth. That way I had the greatest amount of real estate, but being able to quickly switch between things and stuff like that there to be able to see what stuff was, because I just about lost it when I realized I closed out nearly everything. So luckily there's a dock reset that you can do, and grabbing the docs and putting them all back together aren't the worst things in the world. It's just time consuming and can be frustrating because of the way that OBS wants to auto snap docs together. I think if it's the one thing I would wind up, if that was the one thing I could recommend to the OBS developers, would be to change that and make the docks, maybe change the way docks snap so that they don't jump around so much as you're trying to move it, and realize the fact that you may want to have a dock clear across the top, a dock across the side. I may want to split it down the middle and have my chat dock in the middle and have my vertical scene over here on the left and my horizontal scene over here on the right. I can do it whichever way I want. They don't give you that much control. It kind of just adjusts where there's some docks that are needed there all the time. And honestly, I don't know that I need some of the docks there all the time. Some of them probably could be closed, or they could be tabbed with other ones to make them a little bit easier, because, okay, yeah, maybe they're required, like the controls for starting streaming, stopping streaming, recording, all that. Like, I get why that one has to be there, but that could be tabbed in and be the primary tab. Or maybe it's a hover over piece where anytime you do something, that piece pops up, slides out because you're doing something, and then it slides back. Something like that. I don't know. But so there would be some new things coming about, doing some Bible readings and stuff like that, being able to record those. I've got a nice little dock for it. Trying to get all that stuff set up. I now have a new dock for my chat stuff, so that's going to be a little bit different. It's smaller than what I had before, but then again, I don't have, thousands of messages scrolling through, so it should be okay. I think it's a good, reasonable size. It's probably at least more than half top to bottom of my screen and stuff. Plus, I can always adjust it a little bit more, and if I have to, I can always pop the dock out and have it. But if nothing else, at least it's part of OBS. So it's one application all running together. So that's kind of good. But enough of me rambling. We're going to get back to playing Islands of Insight, I believe. Let me switch over here. Let me go off intermission to the game scene. Let's see here. Yeah, Islands of Insight. Okay, so put my headset in. Try to keep myself to a 40-minute video since I've already talked for 20 minutes, but all right. Welcome to episode number 3 of Islands of Insight. All right, so we picking back up where we left off. We just came up this way right here. This is a new set of islands that we got hopped over to from, I believe our start was right there. These are all slide puzzles. So let's go there. Is there one? Huh. Wonder what's down here. Oh, one of these. Okay. Oh, I gotta exclude that one. Oh, this is gonna be one of those ones where I gotta like come in some crazy wackadoodle angle here. Okay, so I got that one. Okay, here's a couple more slide puzzles up underneath. Sands of Time stuff here. Okay, so there's part of me that would like it if there was a little bit more, because there's so many puzzles. I would almost like it if there was a tad more structure to the pathing for some of them, kind of like what was over here. But I get why they're doing it. Like, they're trying to build like this lead up to, this is the learning of the puzzles and stuff like that there, and then it's the go have at it section. Okay. There we go. All right. So it's a good reminder about what we're doing here. Okay. this one. Switch them that way. Switch them that way. All right. So let's try to get everything on this first row. Come back. Oh. It's going to be interesting. Why can't I? Wonder why I can't change those. Okay, so is there something else I've got to do first? So that only works that way. Okay, so that doesn't work there. Okay, that changes it slightly. That means we can do that. And then do that. Okay, cool. That's okay. That now I get it. So sometimes it isn't always going to be the thing that stands out the quickest. In this case, we could do these ones here. Do that. Oh, yep, okay, do that one. Oh, that orphan, that one. Okay. Okay, so we do this. That works. We do that. That should drop that down there. We do that. That drops that there. And then do that. There we go. Get all of them. All right, cool. Okay, so... all right. Let's do this one. Okay, so I think we somehow have to... Nope. Okay. Do this. What do you mean, no? What do you mean, no? Okay. So there's that. Do that. Okay. Reset. Wonder why that one won't let me move that one. What? Okay. Well, let's see. If I do this, that drops down there. That's too much. Okay. Could do that. What is it? This. There's that one. Okay, there's that one. And then those ones. All right, and there we go. All right, cool. It's just about figuring the process in order. All right, so now... okay, that showed up. Okay, so it's got to be aligned with... Come on. Alright, come on, it's just an alignment thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I forgot I gotta look at them. Oh, oh boy. Okay. Well, we do that, that closes out 2 sets there. That closes out 2 sets there. This is going to mess up something. Okay. Not that one. This one. Because then that set could go there. There we go. All right, cool. All right. Now the back side of the wall up here. Is there any on the back side? Okay. I think I already looked around over here. There was nothing here. I have to drop down. Was there any? Okay, here's one here. I'm trying to get everything on this one like little level area. Well, that would work. And oof. That should work. Maybe not. Okay, so I could do that. Okay, so then there's that, so that'll come down. That'll come down, that'll hit, there we go. Alright, cool. From there it's about just getting things lined in the right order. Oh boy, okay. Didn't I come over here? How did I miss this one? Okay, so there's that one. There's that one. Oh. Okay. Redo this one here. So there's this one. There's this one. And then there's that one. That one. Awesome. Okay. Is there anything on the opposite side? Okay. So I don't think there was any in this hallway here, was there? No, a hidden block. Okay. So I got that one. Oh, there was some. I'm trying to get everything on this one little level right here. Oh boy. Okay, how much does that buck up? We go from here. We do that, that goes there. That goes there. Okay, reset. Maybe do that. Then do this, because that brings that down. Swap those two, because that takes that there. Takes that. Takes that. Those two. Oh man, come on. Okay, what was I missing? Guess I could start with that, get there. Those two could swap. Those two could swap. Oh, is there Yeah, there's more of those. Okay. So then maybe it is a good idea. It's not a good idea. I've got to somehow work around this. Okay, so swap those two. Swap those. Swap that. There we go. Got it. All right. I have leveled up. I have leveled up the amount of insanity I have for trying to solve these puzzles. All right. Have I not got that one there? Oh, I did. Okay. Hey, look at that. Another hidden one. Okay, so I guess that means is I could come back out here. All right, now I'm done. All right, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hey. What am I missing here? There we go. Got that one now. Alright, I think there was another... Yep, there's a puzzle there. Have I gotten this one here yet? Okay, there's that one. Alright, nothing on the inside of this wall. Okay. Well, let's try this one. Alright. Okay, so clearing that takes care of that. These ones could be done separately from each other. So that's okay, but now I'm going to get that down. That's from up there. Swap those two, that drops it down one. Down. Drops that down. Swap that. Swap that. Swap that. Then that. Awesome. All right. Okay, so that kind of goes down a level. Is there anything right in here on this level? Oh, okay, we got a couple. Okay, we got a broken one, which is okay. So that comes around here. There was this one. Okay, so let's start working on this side over here. Okay, could do that. I could do that, but that drops that down. Drop that. Hopefully I don't think I've... Oh, did I? Yeah, I think I did. No, why is there only two of this? Ooh. Okay, so there's that. That's okay. I could do... You do that. That would be okay because at least that doesn't get rid of that one. If I swap this and this one, that means that row is going to clear out. That one should stay. Okay, and I swap that and that. That's going to cause that to drop down. Don't think I want to do that yet. We do that. Undo that one there. Okay. I do that one and that one. That does that. And I can swap those two. That drops there. Now I can do those two. And then swap that. There we go. Okay. Got it. It's all about the order. Okay. And there was nothing hidden out over here. Okay. Okay, I already got that area there. All right, so come back here and let's solve this puzzle. Okay, that one seems pretty easy. That did just move that way further away from that. That's all together, which is fine. It drops everything down, so it should be okay. Now, those are a little farther apart, but this set I can do. That gets me closer in line there. That set should work just fine. That set goes down. There's this one. That brings it there. That. Okay, well, let's see. Let's reset. So, gotta be careful here. Nope. Not that one. Still think that's a good first move there. Doing that drops that whole thing down. I would orphan that one there, so I don't want to do that. If I swap these two, that gets that 3, but that leaves that one. Can't do that. Swap this and this one, that marks out those 3, but he gets rid of that one. Okay, let's reset. I swap those. No. Is that puts that way down at the bottom now, which means all this has to be completed to get those to come down, which isn't impossible. Okay. Gets us to what I think is a similar area as to what we were before. Well, if I swap those two, that brings that down. If I swap this and this, that brings that all the way down, which is good. Because now I can swap those. That drops that all down. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Ooh, okay. So that means that this has to swap here at some point, because this has to come here to come down the match with that one and that one. All right, so if we just do this first shot, that brings that all down. So that takes care of that. That takes care of all of those. And then there's that one. That one looked like it was going to be way harder than what it actually was. That one looked like I was going to be, oh, I'm going to have to reset this thing, you know, a ton of times. Okay, so I've got to go that way still. Anything else in this area? Oh. Hey, yo, where are you going? All right, follow 8 wandering echoes. Oh, Mirror Bliss. Okay, cool. Got another one of those. You have awakened. Match 3. Okay. Okay, that. Where did that go? Okay, so that. All right. Boy, that's a lot of cross back and forth there. Okay. They're going to dispel. Oh, okay, though it's light. I was going to say, is it going to dispel the fog? Nope. Alright, well, I do think at this point, I am kind of... I come back down, that's it. Okay, well, we got this one. Oh boy. Clearly wasn't it. Close that. That drops down. Okay. It's clearly not it either. Not a bad start. If I do that though, that's going to clear out those and it's going to work because you have to have at least 3. Could do that. Do that. Okay. So that gets rid of so much at once stuff. That's the problem. Then just use that. I can't. Okay. All right. Which other ones? Okay, so I can move those 2. I can move that one. What would happen if I swap those 2? Because that drops that down. Okay, it only drops it down 1. Which then means I could do that. I could swap that. What does that give me? That still leaves me with those. Okay. Alright, that's not bad. Swap those. Swap those. I should get that. There we go. Just took a minute to see the start. Sometimes you just have to see how they fall in order to be able to figure them out. So clearly that has to come over there. That has to come over there. There's that. Okay, good. That wasn't good. Okay. So kind of the same thing here. If I do, what do you mean I can't swap them? Don't tell me no. If I do that, that's gonna. So maybe I gotta attack this here in the middle then. Maybe that's the first move. Or not. And that takes care of that, but then that. Okay, could do that. Okay, that works. Now if I do that, that drops down. Okay, so that means I gotta do probably something similar here. Do that. Do that. Okay, that drops down there. Let's swap those. That goes there. Swap that. That drops there. Swap those. And there we go. Awesome. Okay. Doing good so far. Okay. I think that's going to be my next room of puzzles to solve there. I don't remember there being anything out here on this outer wall. Got that one. That's that central chamber area to the underground. Oh, look at that. There. Scary say look around for hidden items. Okay, so let's start right here. Okay, that works. That drops all those down. That drops the. It's that. Problem is the moment you create that disconnect between the two, you cannot solve it after that. So you have to get things to pull in. Okay. So that. Hey, all right, same situation. So do that. That. It's going to do the same thing. All right. So maybe. All right, so that's still the first thing there. That can work. Just do that. There we go. Just that. And then that. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Just do a process of elimination, like combining things and sliding them closer to each other. Let's work on this one. Just work our way around. Okay, this seems like a no-brainer right there. Gets those two. If I do that though, that's going to orphan those, and that's got to move way over. That's a lot of movement. Can I rotate this thing on its side? That would make it that would make it so much easier on a couple of these if I could just like rotate the whole thing on its side and they all slide down. All right. Yep, no, that doesn't do what I want it to do. Okay, so let's do that. That goes there. That would go there. Okay. Let's do that one. Do that one, and then that one. There we go. That's how you move it from one side to the other. Oh boy. Okay. That probably already messed the whole thing up. Yep, it did. Okay. So we can do that. Is that one? That's that. Wish I did more of the interconnected ones instead of them just being in a straight line. Just doesn't feel like the right thing. Because like, how's that gonna work? Because like that, like if this was up here, it would make more sense to try to get that to come up. This one here doesn't. Puts me in a bit of a bind. Okay, so I can do that. Shifts that there, but then that causes the disconnect. Okay, so maybe I've got to do something here then. But there's nothing here to be able to do. The only thing I can do is this one in the middle, which still causes me the exact same problem I was going to have before. This one causes me that problem. That's a bit of a disconnect from there. It almost feels like the first move should be this. Really should be something else. Yeah, let's go here. Let's just try this one. Oh geez, that's gonna move all the way over there. Are you kidding me? Okay, so that does that. That does that one. That's okay there. That would push that over. That would do that. And then, okay, there we go. That one made sense. Okay, I gotta move around this one. Okay. So, if I do that, that's gonna drop those down. Drop that down. Do that. Nope, not there, this. And then this. Nope. Okay. I just should have done an undo. That. That. I've created a disconnect again. Great. Way to go. Okay. Nope. Z. Undo. Do that one. Let's do that, which drops those down. Wait a minute. All right. What did I do at the very beginning? Okay, that's gonna drive me crazy now because now I completely forgot what I did. goodness. Alright, so there's that. This drops that down. Okay, that moves that. 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 There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, probably the same thing, something similar here. Well, of course, this could be something similar. All the puzzles are very similar. Still not sure that's the right thing to do. Nothing else. I mean, only the only other one that works, seems to work, would be that one. Reset this. It's gonna be that one. That doesn't help. That doesn't work. Again, if I could just rotate the thing on the side, I think it would be so much easier to solve. Can I? Nope. Alright. So... that disconnects that one. Okay, so if I reset, okay, so we do that. We do that. No. Can't move that. Can't move those. Can't go outside the bounds of it. Right. We're gonna come. Okay. That was the last one in this area. All right. Is there a hint? Okay, wait. That one goes there. That one can go there. That one can go there. Okay. Nope, that one doesn't do that anymore. Okay. None of these work. We really the only thing you have now is this one, but then that creates a disconnect again. Let's go back down this central hall area. Let's go ahead and solve this here real quick. Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh boy. Right. Well, I think think that's actually probably a good place to stop right there with this video. Gonna drive me bonkers now. You know, it's already kind of crazy to begin with, but it's gonna drive me even crazier. What's the likelihood it'll actually drive me back to normal and then drive me crazy again a second time? Nope. Just looking around to see if I missed any other puzzles on this level, because I don't want to miss any of them. I want to be able to try to complete as many as possible, but it is gonna... Did I already miss one over here? Oh my goodness. Wait a minute, I thought I completed all these coming up here. I did. This is the path up. Why are they not done? Does that mean I could go back and do some of them again? Did it not save my progress? Okay, I'm so confused now. Alright, well, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come here. I will try to remember this. So I think what we're going to go ahead and end the video here. Wrap up the stream. But thanks for joining me today. Put a comment on this video, press the like or dislike button. Please follow me for more content. You can join my Discord server, the links in my Twitch and YouTube channels. Let me know your feedback and suggestions. Okay. So, I'm thinking I'm going to probably do one more episode of this one here because it's such an open world and there's so much stuff in there. But I think what I'm going to do is... yes, let's exit. But if I go back over here to Steam real quick, one of the other games that I did do is I did see that I've got... where did it go? I thought so. Okay, so I did have one of my followers had asked me about Titanfall 2 and saying that there is a because I'm not too needy on being able to learn. I don't have as much desire to play online multiplayer games. On stream, at least. Unless I find one that I just really, really like. There hasn't really been too many of them that I've really, really, truly enjoyed. As much as I did like the original Overwatch game. Tried Marvel Rivals. It's not a bad game. But nothing comes close to the original early Overwatch game for me personally. And I don't like any of the stuff they've done. I know that they've nearly undid all of the stuff that was supposed to make it Overwatch 2. And matter of fact, they even went back and renamed it to Overwatch, which I find is quite odd. But, you know, just not having as much fun playing those games because of some of the decisions they made. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were even going back to 6v6, but I think they might have both 5v5 and 6v6. I think they should just go back to 6v6 and just get rid of all the stuff they were going to do for the Overwatch 2. But yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. Go ahead and get Titanfall 2 installed and play just through the campaign. Another one that I had on my list that's been on sale a couple of times. I installed the demo for it. It's Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon, which is an RPG style game. They just had a major update where they added more content under, I think there's their section 3 from what little bit I read on it. So I downloaded the demo on that. That might be one where maybe I just play that separate and play through the demo and just record that by itself, not on a stream, and see what I think of it. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and install Titanfall. And then I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do from there. I've got a modded version of Skyrim as well. And of course I've got 7 Days to Die. What I might also do, did I install this Garuda Toolbox? Ooh, there's a new utility called Garuda Toolbox on here. I did not know that. So come back to that. But under games, the other thing I've got is I've got the Heroic Game Launcher. And I've got the 3 other stores, the Epic, GOG, and Amazon stores in here. And I've got like another 190 games in here that I haven't even touched yet. Well, actually, I take that back. I tried a couple of them. What's odd is I've got free games here. Problem is, I think I've got too many things to be able to try. Like I've got this here. Somewhere along the, okay, I got BioShock 2 Remastered. Got BioShock Remastered, BioShock Infinite, BioShock Infinite Complete Edition, BioShock Infinite Complete Edition again. I've got one of them from the Epic Game Store that I got for free, and one of them from GOG that I got free. And I got BioShock 2 Remastered a second time from the Epic Game Store, because the BioShock 2 Remastered I have is from GOG. So I've got like a bunch of duplicate games on here, but I've got at least the 3 BioShock games. Somewhere along the line I got just Borderlands 3. But also I got other games like The Crow's Eye, which I got on... Do I have that on Steam? I think I do. Here's my completed list. My completed. Here's my completed. Do I have The Crow's Eye on here? Search. I've got so many games. No, I do remember. Oh, you know what? I probably recorded that on the other system. Problem is, categories. New category. Oh, so the other thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to spend some time, because I know I did play The Crow's Eye, so that was one of the games that I played. Got some of the original Castlevania games on here too. Let's see, what else did I have over here that I know I've played? Nope, not that one. Far Away 2 Jungle Escape. There's a couple of the Far Away games that I've played. I don't know if there was another one in here. What was it? We got a game called Gunslugs. Oh, there's one I got here called Horror Tales: The Wine. I was going to play that one. I forgot. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've got the original Kingdom Come Deliverance. Oh, I played Inside. Played Layers of Fear. Ooh, The Legacy of Kain Defiance. I got that one free. The Maid of Sker, which is a spin-off game for the Sker Ritual series. Actually, it's like a prequel to Sker Ritual. Then I've got... How did I get... I got Nightingale free? Mortal Shell. I've got... Over here, I've got the Metro 2033 Redux version from Epic Game Store for free. I did try New and Tasty, Oddworld New and Tasty, but I couldn't figure that one out. I played Out of Line. think I've played Pine yet. Quake 4 Prison Architect. I think I've played that one. Tried Rogue Company, but I think that game actually got shut down. What was, I know there was a couple more games. Oh yeah, Silver Chains. I played that one. Shattered Tales of the Forgotten King was another one that looked pretty interesting. Got Scorn. Scorn is a really odd horror style game. Songs of Horror, I played that one. That's based off of the storyline in there is based off like different versions of H.P. Lovecraft's style of writing. Oh, I got The Force Awakens 2 and The Force Awakens. Maybe I should play those. Those were two amazing games. It was a lot of fun. I played the new Thief, but I've got the old Thief. It's like there's Thief and then Thief 2, the Metal Ages, but like the Thief version that I have is the remastered version, but it doesn't say that it's remastered, which is a little weird. Thief 3 Deadly Shadows. So I've got Thief, Thief 2, and Thief 3. I can play through all of those. Souls, what other stuff? I've got 4 different Trine games. I've got the Witcher Enhanced Edition. Zombie Army 4. Got a lot of free games through Epic Game Store. Okay. But yeah, I've got to see if there's a way that I can actually just maybe organize this. I've got to manage categories. Ah, here we go. So there's a manage. So I've got enough games. So I'm probably going to switch over and play Titanfall 2 for a little bit. Try to play through the game, through the main quest line on that one, and see what I could get there. But we'll wait and see. Currently is at 93%. And then I've got another one here. That's on my, so on my up next, I've got Light of Ilaria, which is another puzzle game. And then I've got Resident Evil Reverse, which I wanted to play that one because that was an expansion that I was waiting on being done, which is the predecessor to Resident Evil 9. So it looks like it has one of the characters. I can't remember her name. It's the protagonist in Resident Evil 9. She's part of this one right here. So I got to go back and play this. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do Islands of Insight. I'll do that as a little filler game here and there. But I'll do Titanfall 2, which is an action shooter game, and then do Resident Evil Reverse. And then look at, I've got 2 other ones here called Lost in the Woods and Whispering Death. I'll check those out. I don't know about Lost in the Woods. That one there was one of the ones where it looked interesting at the very beginning, but then after looking at it a little bit more, plus I think I got it for free. And then there's this other one, Whispering Death, that I got to look at. It's kind of a very gritty horror style game too. It's got lower end graphics, but I've played a fair amount of good horror games that are lower end graphics. But yep, so we're gonna switch over to playing Titanfall next. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and end up the stream here. So the Islands of Insight are nice. I like the openness of it. I just want to make sure that, I don't miss too many of the puzzles. But I want to intermix it because there's, if there truly is 10,000 puzzles in that, I don't want to, I don't want 6 months worth of recordings to be all of just trying to solve all of those. That's one of those ones where I think now that I've got it started, it's going to be a good game to stick with for a little bit. and then trade other games in between. That's going to be a good filler game. Kind of like Skirt Ritual is a good filler game because I could try a couple. I play through a map a couple times. It is just one of those ones where it's easy to pick up and come back to. But that's the end of the stream for today. Let me know your thoughts and feedback, and as always, so long for now.